excited because we've got a big announcement to make. MSNBC is proud to partner with the Global Poverty Project on this year's Global Citizen Festival in September, when this woman you might recognize will take the stage to lend her voice for change and justice. We are announcing today that Beyoncé will join Pearl Jam, Ed Sheeran, Coldplay, and many others in a special free concert with one goal: to end extreme poverty by the year 2030. Joe got a chance to sit down with Hugh Evans, the CEO of the Global Poverty Project, Kweku Mandela, grandson of Nelson Mandela, and Coldplay's Chris Martin to talk about today's big announcement.
We're here at 65 atop 30 Rockefeller Plaza overlooking Central Park. On September, the Global Poverty Project is going to be hosting Global Citizens Festival in the Great Lawn. It's amazing every year. Who's going to be there this year?
Well, Joe, we're really excited that this year for the 2015 Global Citizen Festival will be headlined by Pearl Jam, Beyoncé, Ed Sheeran, and Coldplay. It's going to be the most amazing, the most incredible year.
Coldplay. Why would you have Coldplay there?
Because their song, which is Sky Full of Stars, inspires me every time I listen to it.
Every time. Chris, this is shocking to me because actually we were talking before you came out here.
Yeah.
You said there was no way in hell you would ever play for anything that you was associated with.
I did say that.
He said he has just pulled you in.
I said it on the record as well.
On the record.
One of us is lying. You know.
Well, we're going to work through it. So actually talk about why, Chris, why you got involved and the community and how this is different from, it started really with Woodstock, and then we all grew up and we saw Live Aid, Farm Aid, all these other things. But this is actually very different.
Yeah, well, what the thing it has in common with Woodstock and everything is just the coming together of lots of musicians. And as a singer, it's just so fun when we all show up at the same place. It can be sometimes quite a lonely pursuit.
Right.
So a festival by its very nature is a very communal and friendly atmosphere. And I think that Global Citizen is harnessing that community to also try and say something useful. It gives us a chance to show the things we care about. And there's obviously more power in togetherness than just trying to say it on your own.
And Hugh, we're used, as fans, we're used to sitting at home, watching great artists perform, calling a number, giving money, and then hoping the money goes to the right place. This actually is a far different construct. You and Chris actually just got back from India, where you guys are going, and this isn't just about writing a check and hoping it gets somewhere. It's about applying pressure to world leaders.
So we really want to turn the model of activism on its head, where instead of people paying a certain amount of money for a ticket and then rocking up and then thinking that was the end of it, we said, well, we have to think about how do you build a movement, and I believe movements have to be 365 days a year. And so starting today, Global Citizens can go online and actually earn their way into the festival through taking action. So one such action, they can call the US State Department today and actually make a phone call and encourage the US government to increase their investment in supporting the poorest of the poor through their own foreign aid budgets. And so this is where Global Citizens actually are trying to harness a generation of activists and volunteers who can take action. And we want this to be a 365-day movement, with the festival providing the ultimate pinnacle moment where world leaders can come together and actually make commitments that they're willing to be held accountable for.
Kweku, you've been involved now for 3 years.
I have.
What progress are you seeing?
I think over the last 15 years we've seen tremendous progress. We've been able to halve extreme poverty levels around the world. What Global Citizens has really done is find a way to connect with younger audiences and show them how to utilize technology to actually be active participants in making actions towards our future ultimately.
What's in store this year that's new?
Well, I think what's in store this year, firstly, it's the year when the world is coming together and the United Nations will announce a new set of global goals for sustainable development. These are 17 goals that actually have the potential, if achieved, to actually end extreme poverty by 2030. And so that's our dream. And what's also really new is that Chris has recently made a 15-year commitment to help curate the Global Citizen Festival for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah,
Yes, by the time that's finished, I'm going to be 79 years old.
Exactly. It'd be like Dumbledore. What did you see in Global Citizen that made you commit 15 years of your life to this? That's remarkable.
Honestly, I saw togetherness and acceptance of all other NGOs. So I just felt like they wanted to embrace everyone, and also the idea of community action. You don't just give money and watch it, and don't know where it goes.
Right.
It's about using your own voice, and as a singer we can do that, but also as a student or whatever you do, you can have some part to play.
And there really has been a coming together, it seems. And I'm just going off of like what Chris was saying. It's not some hippy-dippy idea. This is something now that I think more citizens across the globe are really starting to focus on, regardless of ideology.
It's true. President Bush, and a huge credit to Bono and Product Red and the One campaign for their leadership on this, but they did a great job in ultimately encouraging President Bush to take the leadership on funding HIV/AIDS antiretrovirals in sub-Saharan Africa, and the transformation that we've both seen with our first hand has just been remarkable. And so huge credit to Republicans for taking leadership on that, and more recently the Democrats. And when President Obama was elected, we've now seen that funding for food security and hunger alleviation has actually gone up dramatically in the last 5 years, from what was about $335 million per annum to now $1.1 billion per annum under Obama's leadership. And so, trying to get the Global Food Security Act codified, we've already got 55 co-sponsors of that bill, trying to make sure that this becomes a truly bipartisan issue, because ultimately, I think that it's at the core of humanity. No one doesn't want to end extreme poverty. Everyone wants to see this dream realized by 2030, where no child would die for lack of a 30-cent immunization. I think that's a dream that unites us all, and because it unites us all, this is the biggest year to make that change.
Let's talk about women's empowerment. Obviously, that's an issue also very important to what you guys are doing.
Well, women are, the largest part of the population of the world at the moment, but yet they're currently also the most disenfranchised. There's nearly 91 million women that don't have access to universal education, and I think it's critically important, because we know it's fact. Girls of today will be the future leaders of tomorrow, that we create universal education for women ultimately.
And what's cool about what Kweku just said is that we've just formed a partnership with Beyonce's Chime for Change. They're actually become the presenting partner of this year's festival. Beyonce and Selma Hayek launched that with Gucci a few years ago to really focus on women's equality worldwide. And we know that women's equality is critical for the movement to end extreme poverty. So we're just delighted that this partnership has come about. I think this, very simply, I think the dream of a world without extreme poverty by 2030 was Kweku's grandfather's great legacy. In his final speech, he actually said that is the challenge for our generation, and I think that that's a challenge that we've got to take seriously. And I just think it would be awesome if this year, as Chris said, if we could see a coming together where Global Citizen was an idea bigger than any organization. It's not about any organization, it's about whether it's the amazing organizations like the One Campaign or Oxfam or Save the Children or CARE or UNICEF, all coming together with the Gates Foundation, all unified behind this idea that this could be the generation to see an end to extreme poverty, tackle inequality, and I think this September will be the moment to shine that spotlight.
Hey, so let's wrap it by talking about September, Hugh. Talk about what we're going to see.
Well, we're delighted this year we're partnering with Richard Curtis, who's the amazing creative director. Right. He created everything from Love Actually through to Notting Hill, and he's going to be producing a 1-hour special that we've been working on.
Fantastic.
Around the clock.
What are you laughing about, Chris? Did you not like those movies?
From one movie to the next movie he made.
What came after that? What's the one after that?
You could say he created everything from Comic Relief, which is this amazing
Thursday,
to Red-Nosed Day through to, but you just said two relatively similar films.
Yeah. Well, you tell me what else.
You created everything from Wheel to that round.
He created everything from one romantic comedy based in London to another romantic comedy based in an affluent part of London.
them both, so.
No, man, he's amazing.
All right, very good. So we all come down on the side of Love Actually is actually a great film.
It is a great
okay,
film.
that is okay. So go ahead.
And then also we're working with Ken Ehrlich, who is the renowned producer of the Grammys, and he's going to be helping to make the whole 6-hour Global Citizen Festival just extraordinary. I think we're going to do stuff this year that we've never done before. The festival it's going to go to a new level. I mean, in terms of production, but also in terms of our ambition, because this is the year of the announcement of the global goals. We want to be of service to the United Nations, our partner in this endeavor. We want to make sure that these goals become famous, and we also want to build a lasting movement for change.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
For more information on how you can get involved and take action, visit globalcitizen.org and be sure to join me and Alex Wagner.
What?
Yes. Super host.
You're doing backup on Single Ladies, right?
Yes, I am.